Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Capricorn energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row will be high vibe Capricorn energy, and the bottom row will be a more worldly focused, shadowy Capricorn energy. It could be a battle going on within some people because, you know, it's hard to detach from some old ways of being to kind of live your life differently. And so we can go back and forth. But there's definitely going to be some people in the world who have seen some truth, understanding that they no longer want to live their life the way they've been living it, or they see the truth about a job or a relationship or a friendship, and they see the truth and they need to move on. And the bottom row could be some people who haven't learned some of the lessons that you've learned, haven't realized the truth, you know, and we're in our shadow nature. It can be that we don't want to see the truth. We're in denial of the truth. Just have some growing up and maturing to do. But it can also be people who are more aligned with their worldly nature, which can be immature, prideful, egotistical, materialistic, whatever. And, you know, whether you're a Capricorn sun sign or not, you know, just listen to your intuition about where you are in the story, and listen to your intuition about where some other people in your life are at in the story. And we'll talk about it from a couple different perspectives. So, in the top row, the reason for the reading is the Ten of Swords, which can mean that some of you could have been dealing with a Gemini who lives, or just someone who lives more from their mind than their heart. But Gemini energy has to do with kind of what we're aligned with within ourselves. Are we more aligned with our loving, intuitive, hopeful, believing nature, or are we more aligned with our worldly nature, or our ego, or our fear? You know, and you could have realized, and some of you could have felt backstabbed and betrayed. Something could have ended painfully. But the whole thing is the tens in tarot talk about completing a cycle, and we can move forward in something. We think it's a good idea. Then there starts to be problems, and we're confused. Then we're conflicted. Then we could kind of be in a mental prison. And the difference between people who are able to move forward in their life is they complete the cycle. The other people might get to the 8 or the 9 of Swords, and because it's difficult and it's challenging, and you can feel kind of imprisoned and enslaved, and you're stressed and you don't like it, some people kind of take action in their life just to feel better. And down in the bottom row, we go down to the 2 of Swords, or the 8 of Swords. So the difference is some people were willing to work through maybe some of their issues they have about, do I have hope and faith and belief in myself? Do I believe in love? Do I trust people in love? Because the 8 of Swords has 8 swords, which means they're thinking about 2 cups of love in their heart. And some people love the world, and they weren't willing to detach from their more worldly view of life. Other people don't know who they love, and so they weren't able to move forward in something because they're not sure about what they love or who they love. Other people, you know, they would have to connect in more with their intuitive, hopeful, believing, loving nature, and some people are unwilling to do that. And so they decided, instead of listening to my intuition to get me through this difficult time, I'm just going to stay in a mental prison. And the reason for their reading is the 2 of Wands. I'm going to go maybe take action to make myself feel better. And then we have the Page of Cups. Maybe I'll go get in a relationship with someone else who's in a mental prison and has fears and insecurities about loving and believing in themselves or believing in love. Instead of, because the high vibe people are going to have a brand new beginning. They're going to take the creative, inspired action in their life. And they're also, underneath the 10 of Swords, is about putting an end to operating from their ego, which is our more shadowy nature, to be illuminated to the truth. When we finish a cycle of the Ten of Swords, we come out with the Ace of Swords. And the truth is that I should not make decisions out of pride and ego and fear and insecurity and immaturity and defensiveness. I should choose love. You know, the Leo card is also represented by the Sun card, which is I deserve to love myself. I deserve to believe in myself and believe in my dreams. And I'm going to offer myself love to get through all my fears and insecurities so I can move forward in truth. My truth, being authentically who I am, living my life authentically. Because when we're in our shadow nature, we could be making decisions more out of our fear and our insecurity and our pride and our ego and our emotionally defensive nature. And it's kind of letting our ego run our life instead of us stepping into the spotlight of our own life and saying, I deserve to love myself and be in loving, supportive, encouraging work environments, friendships, and relationships. And some people just still have a lot of fear of being authentically themselves in the world, and so they do hide more behind their ego. Some people have a lot of fear of love. You get hurt doing that. So some people are going to repeat an old pattern. Maybe one day they'll be ready to get out of their ego and their fear and their insecurity to be more authentic in the world, to be more free. But until, you know, everybody is ready to do that when they're ready. So the high vibe people have put an end to being in their ego, their fear, their codependent nature. If they had been in a workplace, a friendship, or a romantic relationship where the other person kind of was operating more from pride or ego or defensiveness than love, they decided they needed to end that workplace situation or relationship. And they're inspired to change foundations, you know, because whenever in our life that we're going through life, we can have our fears and insecurities. At what point in time are we willing to offer ourselves love to deal with those fears, to let go of that foundation and listen to our intuition and believe in our dreams? When we're ready to do that, we will put an end to our fear and insecurity and ego to be inspired to swap our more how we had been living our life to having more hope and faith and belief in our life. And then from the Six of Pentacles down to the Two of Pentacles, it's letting go of the Four of Pentacles, something we had been holding on to, which can just be a way of viewing ourselves in the world around us. It can be a job, a friendship, a relationship. You know, the Four of Pentacles talks about, this makes me feel safe and secure. I don't want to let it go because I have fear and I maybe haven't learned to love myself. And so until I am ready to do that, I will keep staying here. When I am ready, I will let go of being stuck, which is what the Two of Swords can talk about, and I will take action. But, you know, we can't make other people get to that place. It's kind of like something they have to do within themselves. And so then in the Two of Pentacles, it talks about letting go of a way of life or a way of thinking or a way of feeling or a job or a relationship that we had been invested in and picking up our investment in that to get more balance within ourselves while we're deciding what we're going to, you know, just get our balance to move forward differently. And people before could have been the Leo strength card. In shadow can mean that you were in fear, insecurity, you were in self-limiting beliefs, you were in your ego, you were dealing with other people who are like that. And high vibe Capricorn energy of the Two of Pentacles, because shadowy Capricorn is represented by the devil, which is our fear and our insecurity and stuff like that, to pick up your investment in that, to exchange foundations from, I'm not going to live my life like this anymore. I'm going to align with my being more balanced within myself, not letting my shadow nature kind of run my life off into the ditch, and to get more balanced within myself so that, and it talks about being free from something that kind of had a hold on you before. And our own Capricorn energy is our more worldly nature. And so some people could be detaching from their more egoic worldly view of life to have a more balanced view of life. And then we have the Four of Wands and the Hierophant. And the Four of Wands can talk about our own foundation of self. And then the Hierophant talks about our philosophy of life. And maybe before, people were kind of more caught up in the world and thinking they only had the things of the world to work with. But some people are connecting in with their more hopeful, believing nature and being more bold and brave and confident in their Aries energy, which I also associate the Wands with kind of being motivated and inspired to get more balanced. And to get, when you're more balanced within yourself, it's kind of like, you know, being balanced between your shadowy or your worldly egoic nature and your loving intuitive nature, so that you're working cooperatively together. Like, I do admit I have a shadow nature. Some people don't. But, you know, it's to admit I do have a shadowy nature. And if I don't kind of offer like love and encouragement and compassion and forgiveness to myself, and I kind of ignore or don't want to even admit I have a shadow nature, well then, I don't know, it's like living in denial, right? I'm impulsive and I'm reckless, or I'm immature, or I'm selfish, or I'm greedy, or I'm prideful, or I'm egotistical, and I just don't even want to admit it, you know? And so that could mean part of that. It also could be taking more inspired, balanced action in how you make decisions in your life, because the Taurus Hierophant, again, it dictates the decisions we make in our life. And if we, before, our default position that affected the decisions we made was more out of fear or ego or something like that, there's some people getting out of that. And they're taking, kind of like adding more creative, inspired, enlightened, that there's more to life than just the world. We all put in work and effort to have money and stability and security and enjoy the finer things in life. Does it have to be tipped out of balance and be all from the mind and the ego? Or can we get more balance within ourselves? You know, and some people have realized that when I was making decisions in my life more out of fear and insecurity and ego, it didn't work out so well for me. So if I want, or if I got in relationships with people who are like that, because that can be a pattern that people have. It's like, oh, look at this poor person. They're in a mental prison about loving themselves and believing in themselves. And some of you could be very loving, nurturing people. And that could be a pattern of yours. And it's kind of like, you know, we got to get out of our ego. We're not here to save the world. You know, that's like God's work. All we can do is offer people love and encouragement and support, you know, not be kind of like a negative influence in their life, but they have free will. And if we feel like we were authentic and genuine and they're just unwilling to see the truth, that they have to get out of their own fear and their own insecurity and their own ego and their own emotionally defensive nature. And if they're not, you know, it kind of keeps us imprisoned and enslaved in an unstable foundation with them. And that's like an injustice to not be in relationship with other people who are taking inspired action towards you, who are just and fair and balanced in a relationship, who are working with you cooperatively, high vibe Taurus, acting with character and integrity and stable and grounded. You know, put in work and effort to be stable and grounded within themselves. You know, we have to see the truth that sometimes some people don't want to get out of their fear or their insecurity or their ego or their self-centeredness, because that takes work and effort, and they don't want to put in the work and effort, and they're hoping other people will kind of be in denial of the fact that in a way it ends up making a relationship all about them, because that's what shadowy Aries energy. I don't think anybody who, well, some people do, but a lot of people don't want to see the truth, and that would be, in order to complete the cycle, they'd have to maybe see the truth that if they're not putting in work and effort to get more stable and grounded within themselves and be more just and fair, sometimes people want to be indulged in their fear and in their insecurity or their pride or their ego. And that is kind of selfish, right? And the Two of Wands of Aries energy, they don't have to be an Aries, just how they harness their Aries energy, is this kind of more about, isn't it supposed to be more about me? Can't I stay here in my mental prison, and aren't people supposed to kind of want to indulge me? I'm fearful, I'm insecure, I'm prideful or egotistical or self-centered or bossy or controlling, and I don't want to see the truth. They don't want to let go of this foundation of being in denial of the truth. And some of them are kind of manipulative, prideful, egotistical, bossy, controlling, and they don't want to see the truth. Because then people kind of indulge them, and then it's all about them. And other people are like, you know what, if you're going to stay in your fear, in your insecurity, in your pride, in your ego, being bossy or controlling or emotionally manipulative or all about yourself, I wish you peace, but I'm not in denial of the truth anymore. And sometimes we can have a pattern of indulging people like that. Kind of like, oh my gosh, no, God, my job is to make them love and believe in themselves. It's like they have to be inspired and motivated to want to love and believe in themselves. And some people don't want to get out of their ego. Some people don't want to get out of their emotional defensiveness. And they just want people to keep indulging them being the way they are. So sometimes the best thing we can do is to show them how we do it. I can love you and I could want you to move forward with me long term, in a foundation. You could be my adult child. You could be my sibling. You could be my parent. You could be my friend. And I wish you would come together with me in a more stable, grounded, balanced relationship. But as long as you don't want to see the truth and let go of being in denial of the truth, that you're kind of in shadowy energy. Immature, impulsive, reckless, selfish, lazy, the list goes on. And it's like, if they don't want to see the truth, we can't make them see the truth. So sometimes, if we feel we've done everything we can, and it's really becoming unstable for us to stay in a relationship with them, and to listen to our intuition. And if our intuition is telling us that, if you want your dream to come into reality, you're going to have to listen to your intuition. And that can be that you have to let go of this foundation and some of these people in your life, to quit holding on to them, because again, if we enable people in their poor behavior, they have no incentive to change, right? So if we let go, and it's like, if that's how you free willingly, because they have free will, that's why we need to get out of our ego. They have free will. If that's how they want to live their life, God gives them free will to live their life whatever way they want. Well, I'm going to accept that you have free will too. I'm going to get out of my ego, and I'm going to let you live your life the way you want. And me and my foundation are going to take action. Taurus energy is earth sign energy, so it's about putting work and effort into the world. I'm going to put in work and effort to get out of my ego about it. I can sit and tell God all day, but no, God, I want them with me, no, God. And it's like, maybe the best thing you can do is let them go and show them how you can be creative and inspired and balanced and stable. Because sometimes when people are in shadowy energy, they are trying to manipulate us, because loving energy is truthful and honest and just and fair and puts in work and effort to act with character and integrity. So even though that might not be some people's intention and we have a hard time viewing it that way, it can be that people are trying to manipulate us and don't want us to see the truth and trying to get us not to let go of the dream. And it's kind of like indulging them in their ego. It's like, I deserve to be in just and fair and balanced relationships where people do put in the work and effort to work through their fears and insecurities, to be more open and authentic and warm and loving. And if that's not where you're at, I accept that. And you can go live your life the way you want. But I'm not going to be in my ego about it. And I'm going to be in life-giving energy and be bold and brave and confident enough to not stay stuck with you in not growing, not changing, not dealing with issues. I'm going to look at life from a different perspective to see the truth that what I have been doing has been keeping me stuck. And then when we look at life from a different perspective and we expand our perception of ourselves and the world around us and what we believe is possible, then we're enlightened to the truth that, you know, we have our dreams of being in stable, grounded, abundant, nurturing, mature workplaces, friendships, and relationships. And again, I view the King of Pentacles as Capricorn energy. And the Pentacles, again, mean that people have to put in work and effort to get the justice they deserve. And if some people are unwilling to put in the work and effort to get out of their fears, their insecurities, their pride, their ego, then, you know, I hope life works out for you. But I want to come together with people who have put in the work and effort to grow and mature themselves, to work through their fears and insecurities, to see the truth. That we're all meant to grow and mature ourselves. We're all meant to face some of our fears and insecurities, to shed some of our old ways of being. That's how we feel proud of ourselves. You know, we all, as we were growing up, you know, we had to go get a job. That was scary. We had to learn how to drive. That was scary. We had to, you know, go from junior high to high school. That was scary. You know, we had to leave one job to go get another job and eventually leave that job to get another job. You know, and those were all scary things. And eventually it's not as scary. And there's just some people, the Two of Wands can be people who, they have this way of viewing life, and that's how they want to do life. I don't want to see life any differently. I don't want, and they're turning their back on being just and fair and loving. It's like, no, I had this way of viewing life, and I want to keep doing it the same way I've done it. I don't want to see the truth. But again, with two Aries energies there, of the King of Wands and the Two of Wands, it could be some people are like, I just don't want to take like more bold, brave, confident action in my life. Some people just don't want to come together with others in a relationship and become like a marriage partner. It's like, I don't want to have to make decisions that are best for everyone, or I find that scary. And then in shadow, that can be, I just want to indulge. I'll go find someone else who's in a mental prison and I'll go get in a relationship with them. Let's go see what this card is. Five of Wands, Five of Swords. To go from the Eight of Swords down to the Five of Swords, in the Page of Cups, they'd have to offer themselves love to work through their past pain and heartbreak in order to look at life from a higher perspective. And again, from the Five to the Two, again, they'd have to let go of the Three of Swords, of living more from their mind than their heart. Why aren't people being open and authentic and open to giving and receiving love? You can get hurt doing that. Some people have been hurt by love before, and they didn't do the work within themselves to see the truth. The truth sets us free. Some people just got in their ego. Oh my gosh, that person rejected me. That person wasn't kind. That person wasn't loving. And they get in their ego because some of them could have thought they were all that in the King of Wands. And now they're in their pride and ego about the truth that other people, have their own dreams. And if some of those people want to be in marriage relationships, because the King and Queen of Pentacles is the only married suit of the deck, some people have a problem with that. It's like, but I'm like the cat's meow, male or female. I thought in my ego that anybody would want to be in a relationship with me, regardless of if I didn't kind of grow up and mature myself or make a more formal commitment in a relationship, or even if I wasn't just and fair, and even if I was kind of bossy or controlling or prideful or manipulative. Some people just don't want to see the truth that, it just put them in a mental prison maybe. Some people had people in their life who were kind of like that, and because of that, they haven't learned to love themselves. And so they could be repeating a pattern, because I think that's when we have lessons to learn and we haven't seen the truth. We'll keep repeating a pattern until we do see the truth. And some people don't even want to see the truth, that the whole reason why they don't want to do love and are fearful of love has something to do maybe when they were a child and the people that they grew up with. And maybe those people were kind of manipulative or controlling or bossy or stubborn. And they thought, gee, if that's what those people were like who were supposed to love me, I don't trust love at all. But what they don't realize by not doing this work within themselves to reconcile themselves with that, and they, like I say, some of them don't want to see the truth about the people in their life that they might have loved, and just admit they're fallible human beings. And it's like, yeah, I loved them, but they were kind of bossy. Yeah, I loved them, kind of manipulative. Yep, loved them, but kind of stubborn and prideful. Some people just could not, that was like taboo, to admit people were fallible human beings. It was like they were perfect. And it's really hard for them to reconcile themselves that they can have these two different, which seem conflicting thoughts. But we're human beings. We have a dualistic nature. All of us can be a little stubborn and prideful or bossy or controlling at times. You get in the right situation, it's like, I am not doing that, kind of crosses lines of what I will and won't do, in life. And some people really have a hard time with that. The only thing is, what they don't realize by not being willing to see the truth is they're going to probably keep repeating that pattern of trying to get people who are like that and show those kind of traits and characteristics. It's just like, oh my gosh, there's, like, say if you grew up with a parent who had alcoholism, it's like, oh my gosh, there's somebody who seems to have a drinking problem. I'm going to save them, this time they're going to pick me, they're going to love me, and really it should be that it wasn't, it can feel like it, I know, but it's not a reflection of our worth and value. It's to accept the fact that those people were a fallible human being who had their own issues, and the best love is what helps us heal, that I can be attracted and really want those type of people or those particular people in my life. But if those people aren't in that place to be more just and fair and loving from a place of love, I wish them peace. I see right now the Five of Swords is Aquarius energy. I see my dream can't come into reality with them, and that can be hurtful. And I wish my dream could come into reality with them. But it's not just and fair for me to my foundation to be destabilized, because they kind of haven't won the battle within themselves to free themselves, to love themselves and choose love and, love themselves enough to walk the talk, that I'm not going to stay on my mental conflict about it. I wish them peace so that I can let this go and not be stuck. I do have a dream I wish they could come with, but I deserve to be in just and fair and loving relationships. And so in high vibe Leo energy, I'm going to get out of my ego about it and my past pain and heartbreak about it to be in life-giving energy. I'm going to give myself everything that I wish they would have given me so I can heal that wound. And I'm going to stay in life-giving energy, and I don't control anyone else in the world but me. So I'm going to be my own best mother, father, coach, voice in my own head. And I'm going to take action in the Ace of Wands and the King of Wands to get out of my ego about it. And again, in the Pisces Hangman, to expand my perception of the world and how I view things, to kind of be able to wrap my brain around this and see the truth that everyone is driven and motivated by their own things. Some people are really driven and motivated and think the answer is to stay in their fear or their insecurity or their addiction or not do love. I get hurt doing that. And it's to take the lessons that we've learned from that life experience to invest in loving ourselves and being stable and grounded within ourselves in truth and love and balance to get the justice we deserve in life. And it's in the energy of love that we're able to release people to have their free will. We don't always know what greater purpose it serves in the world. Oops, I got an alarm on my phone. But it's just to believe it somehow serves a purpose, and maybe the whole purpose was, who knows, if you watch NDE, if you type that in on YouTube, near-death experiences from nurses to pastors to children, maybe some people in our life say, I'm going to do these things, and it's all to help you learn to love and believe in yourself. And, maybe next time, if there's a next time, you can do that for me. The whole thing is to get us to a place of love. Some people aren't willing to deal with their own mental conflict, aren't willing to, don't want to see the truth that they should take more bold, brave, confident action in their own life. Some people are kind of immature and codependent, and we have the free will. Am I going to coddle and burp and feed all my fears and insecurities? Some people do. It's kind of like with our dualistic nature, which dog are you going to feed? Whichever one you feed is going to get bigger. And some people keep indulging their fear, their insecurity, their immature nature, their me nature, I want nature. And they think that's living the dream, or it'll keep them safe. Then they don't have to go out there in the world and be more bold and brave and confident. And then there's just some people who don't want to see the truth and deal with their own mental conflict, and they are all about themselves. And it is all about indulging themselves. And if they get in relationships with people who have healed from some of their past pain and heartbreak, aren't making decisions in their life, being immature and manipulative or petty or jealous or competitive, and they are, because that's what shadowy energy, one of the traits and characteristics of shadowy energy, some people are very bossy and controlling, and they want it their way, and you're supposed to keep indulging them, and you're supposed to keep staying in your fear, your insecurity. You're never supposed to see the truth. You're not supposed to deal with your own mental conflict. And if you do, well, then they don't want to be in a relationship with you anyway. They're going to go find someone else who's in a mental prison. Because in order for them to move forward with more balanced, stable, mature people, they would have to do some inner work within themselves. And some of those people are like, nope, it's all about me. My wants, my needs, my lusts, my greed, my pride, my ego. I refuse. Some people don't want to be just and fair in a relationship. Some people think it's just and fair to live their life in a shadowy way. All about them. Some of them can be very self-centered. So I think if any of you were in a workplace or some type of friendship or relationship where people showed their shadowy nature, part of it could have been because were kind of used to enabling people who seem to have fear and insecurity about love. And you could have been attracted to them. You could have loved them. You wanted a dream to come into reality, but something happened or is going to happen. Because it's an injustice, the Tower is like a major Arcana universe card. It's an injustice. And if we're not seeing the truth and we're in denial of the truth, the universe will keep trying to show us this is not a stable foundation. And you don't want to see the truth. And something will happen to make you see the truth or try to get you to see the truth. And for some of you, that already happened, and you've already detached from that type of workplace, friendship, or relationship, and you're up here right now. Some people are just going through it right now. Let's go ask, what is the Tower about? What was revealed in the Tower? The Four of Wands. Some people are, so the Four of Wands is what was revealed in the Tower. It had something to do with their foundation, and it has to do with the Hermit card. Some people, we can get in a relationship with people, and initially it all seems great, but then because anybody can present themselves as being like in high vibe Capricorn energy or whatever energy, like, oh, I'm not fearful, I'm not insecure, I'm not prideful, I'm not egotistical, I'm not bossy, I'm not controlling, I'm not self-centered, I'm not manipulative, but they have a lot of fears and insecurities that they maybe don't deal with. And because they maybe don't ever deal with their own past pain and heartbreak, their own self-limiting beliefs, thinking they can just, if you're in shadowy energy, you're not letting love and intuition guide your decisions. Fear might guide your decisions. I want what I want, guides their decisions. Some people want to be in relationships with people because it does provide them a sense of stability and security. It makes them look like they have it all. And for some, that's why they get in relationships, because on their own, they could have a lot of fear and insecurity and instability. And when they get in relationships with other people, it helps at least provide that for a while. But, the Hermit talks about things that were hidden. And it could have been that their foundation was hiding that they're very unstable. And part of the reason they might be unstable is because their foundation refuses to go within to gain insight and wisdom about their own fears and insecurities and past pain and heartbreak and self-limiting beliefs. And because of that, they end up feeling stuck, but they refuse to take that action they need to take, like to self-reflect. Why do I have fear and insecurities? Why am I fearful of love? Why am I fearful of taking creative, inspired action in my life? Why am I afraid of stepping out of my comfort zone and kind of going with the flow? Again, the Two of Wands and the King of Wands facing this direction. It can be, I have this way, I want to live life because this is like my comfort zone. I know how to live my life like this. I do not want to let go of this way of living life. I don't want to have to deal with the truth. Because again, the truth is what sets us free to be able to live our life differently. But that would require that we let go of some old ways of being. Just like we grow and mature throughout our life when we're age 15, going to age 18, going to age 21, going to age 25, we let go of some of our more immature or indulgent or self-centered or, whatever ways of being. And they weren't willing to put an end to that. And for some, it's just that they're bossy and controlling, and they want things their way. And they don't plan to live their life any differently. And other people, eventually kind of realize that this person might have a lot of things that they don't want to deal with. And if they're not willing to deal with it, they're not kind of growing and maturing themselves. And some of you realized, my dreams aren't going to come into reality with this person, because they would need to get out of their ego or their fear or their manipulative ways or their more prideful or bossy, controlling ways, and maybe see the truth that they are kind of more like, I had this way of living life, and you're supposed to give up your dreams of being in a more just and fair and balanced and inspired, and where people put in work and effort to grow and mature themselves, to really be someone who walks the talk. Shadowy energy is about creating this illusion about who we are. There's some people who want to look like they have all this, and they're happy with it looking like they have all that. And so long as their life looks like they have all that, look, I got in a relationship. Look, I seem to have all these things in the world. I'm good. Let's not deal with anything. So long as we have these things, so long as we're in a relationship, so long as we have a job, so long as it looks like we have stability and security, let's nobody ever deal with any of their fears and insecurities to change. Let's never face anything new. Let's not ever do anything new. It's kind of like staying in dead energy of the Ten of Swords. Nothing new is going to grow here. But this is my comfort zone. Let's do this. And it's like, oh my gosh. And some of you realized, I need to get out of this. Other people are just realizing it. And some of you people, after you did this work within yourself, between the Ace of Wands and the Four of Wands was the Three of Wands, you have a dream that you want to bring into reality. And it can be about equal give and take and a balanced relationship. And so you could have, the wands can talk about communication. You could have communicated to someone that you would like to exchange time, energy, effort, maybe some hugs and kisses to come together with them in a relationship. For some of you, and you might have communicated to that person that I have detached from whatever I had been involved in, and I've looked at life from a different perspective, and I've seen the truth that either the people I used to indulge could have been a pattern of mine, and I learned some valuable lessons from that life experience, and I've kind of grown up, matured myself, and got more balance within myself, and that I want this dream to come into reality. For some of you, some of the people that you meet might be willing to get in a relationship with you. If that was anybody that you had previously either not gotten into a relationship with, or you ended a relationship with them before, if they had kind of been in their ego about that, if they did work within themselves while you were off in a different relationship and they got themselves in a new relationship, that might not be an option because, they got themselves in a new relationship that's emotionally mature and balanced and just and fair. And, we just have to accept the truth that apparently I'm not going to be in my ego about it. I would have liked that to work out, but if it's not going to work out, then I'm going to keep believing that the divine has a plan for my life, and I'm going to keep moving forward in my life and exchanging, in the world with people to find the people who are on the same page as me that I can work together with in a relationship. For some of those people, if they had kind of been in their pride and ego, those people might put an end to that because they see the truth that you really have grown and matured yourself, and are balanced within yourself and have learned lessons in life, and just because you didn't get in a relationship with them before, or you maybe ended a relationship with them before, or there's someone new you meet, they see that you are the type of person they could have that long-term, just and fair and stable and grounded relationship with, and they will want to be in a relationship with you. And if it's not someone you've already communicated with, if that didn't work out, this is telling you to let go of that. Don't get in your ego about it. See the truth that some of the people you might have wanted to be in a relationship, unbeknownst to you, are kind of in shadowy energy for all you know. You know, if it's not someone you've been in contact with, some of them are in a healthy, loving relationship. We just see the truth because the truth keeps setting us free. That it's like, okay, I'm not going to hold on to that. If that's the case and I got to see the truth, then I just need to keep maintaining my balance and keep walking the talk. And so long as I keep taking action, not out of pride or ego or fear or insecurity or whatever, that's what I'm going to manifest. For the people that are in shadowy energy, they might be people who have given up on their dreams. They might be people who don't even look at life from a higher perspective. They could be all in on, it's about the world. It's all about me. It's about being motivated and inspired by the world. It's about, we are talking about Capricorn energy, so they could really be aligned with their Capricorn, worldly Capricorn nature, of money and materialism and status and image, and they don't want to see the truth. Their foundation hides from the truth. And they think it's just unfair to live their life that way, which we all do, no matter if we've completely ran our life off into the ditch and blaming everyone else for our problems. We still think we're right, And they'll keep repeating that pattern, and it probably won't work out the way they think it's going to work out, because if they're not taking action in truth and love and justice and fairness, and it's more about their wants and needs, and some of those people could try to use their charm or their looks or their sexuality or their money, since we're talking about Capricorn energy, to try to get people to indulge them in a relationship. For those people to stay in a mental prison, it's like, you stay right there. I want to indulge in a relationship with you. I don't want you to look at life from a higher perspective. I don't want you to listen to your intuition. I, in my unstable foundation, am really heavy in my shadowy Aries energy, and it's really all about me and my wants and my needs and my lust and my greed. And I think it's just and fair for you to emotionally focus on me, because I think that's just and fair. And I don't want you to be more balanced. I want you to stay out of balance because I'm out of balance. And I want you to stay out of balance with me. So let's go ask, what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Capricorn energy? What's coming up that they might not see coming? Oh, and some of you could have already gotten in a new job or a new relationship, and someone might communicate with you, and you might spend time together to see if you're both willing to detach from whatever had been to move forward, new and inspired in a new job or relationship. The Fool, which is going on a new journey. Why? Because you're willing to face your fears and insecurities. No longer a fool for the world or people who are unjust, unfair, unloving, fearful, insecure, because your dreams can't come into reality until they free themselves from that. So you're going to face your fears to go on a new journey, It's kind of like sometimes we repeat in an old pattern because we'd rather deal with the devil we know than the devil we don't know. And whenever we move forward in life, just like when you go off to college, when you go get a new job, we don't know what's going to be there. And sometimes fear holds us back, so we go repeat an old pattern. But this would be, you're going on a new journey, and negative energy, unhealthy people, unloving people, unjust people, sabotaging people, or whatever, inspired you to have hope and faith and belief in yourself and to get out of your ego and to love and believe in yourself. So you're going on a new journey. Maybe with some people that you're attracted to, because that's what the devil can mean too. Tell us what's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly or shadowy Capricorn energy that they might not see coming. Oh, and for some of you, you're harnessing high vibe Aries energy, and you might go on a new journey either with other people who harness high vibe Aries energy. The Four of Wands is Aries, the King of Wands is Aries, the Two of Wands is Aries, which can just be, we have Aries down here too, so it's kind of how people harness their Aries energy, regardless of what zodiac sign they are. Are they bold and brave enough to be open and loving and authentic and warm, willing to get out of their pride, their ego, their fear, their insecurity? Or are they not? And that would be more shadowy. Okay, what's coming up for the people who harness more worldly? These two cards not showing themselves because of the Three of Swords. So it's people who think it's just and fair from their Libra aspect to make decisions more from their mind than listening to their heart and intuition. And what they might not see coming, well, for one, I think what they might not see coming is that the high vibe people are no longer in their life. Oh, yeah. And the high vibe people are no longer defensive and defending themselves or defending this relationship, and they're not communicating with them or taking action towards them. And part of it is because these people don't stand up for themselves and have good boundaries within themselves. These are two cards of Sagittarius energy. They're unwilling to have good boundaries to their own shadowy nature and to look at life as an adventure to be lived. And they're unwilling to educate themselves because Sagittarius in high vibe is about higher learning and education and wrapping your brain around this game of life. And they're unwilling to do that. They're unwilling to stand up for themselves and have good boundaries to their mind. Some people let their monkey mind run their life. All their fears, all their insecurities, and they keep coddling that aspect of themselves. It's like your mind is like a computer. It just generates thoughts. Sometimes it generates really stupid thoughts, Every thought that goes through our head, we don't say, oh my gosh, that's the epitome of truth, and burp it and diaper it and feed it. But people will pick and choose which ones, oh, that's the truth. And they take the ones that maybe aren't very beneficial for them, and they're unwilling to look at life as an adventure to be lived, unwilling to take kind of more bold, brave, inspired action in their life. Well, I guess they're gonna, until they're willing to see the truth that they might make a lot of decisions from pain and heartbreak or fear or insecurity, they're going to keep doing it until they keep getting stuck over and over and over again, that they're finally willing to see the truth. It's kind of like, I keep doing the same thing over and over and I expect a different outcome. I expect to get the justice I deserve in love. It's like, well, are you just and fair in a relationship? Or are you bossy and controlling and manipulative? Are you loving in a relationship, or you just think it's just and fair for other people to love you? Well, to think that you can plant not good seeds and reap a good harvest is living in illusion. And that's what shadow energy is like. Well, no, this is the way I want to do it. It's like, well, you can keep trying to do it that way all you want. You can keep staying in denial of the truth that you're supposed to be emotionally grow and mature yourself, get out of your ego and thinking it's all about you. If you want to be in a relationship with other people, you have to compromise with other people. You have to do equal give and take in a relationship. And some people are like, huh? What? No. Isn't it? I, for some reason, had an idea that it was supposed to be all about me. So again, some of them might be very self-centered and egotistical. So there you go, Capricorn. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.